In Vedic astrology, it's not always about gems and chants. Sometimes the most powerful remedies are, well, they're alive. We're talking about plants with some serious, mysterious power. And today we're diving into one of the most fascinating ones out there, the Dhattura tree. This thing is like a guardian, a sentinel, standing up to one of the toughest forces in the cosmos. So yeah, let's get into it and uncover its secrets.
I love this description. A paradoxical guardian, both healer and harbinger. I mean, that just says it all, right? This plant is a total contradiction. It's a seriously powerful poison, but it's also a sacred tool for healing and protection. And that's the key, you see. That paradox, that duality, that's exactly where its incredible power comes from.
Which, of course, leads us to the big question, the one we're going to tackle in this explainer. How on earth can one single plant be both of those things? How does Jyotish, Vedic astrology, take something so dangerous and flip it, turning it into a remedy for some really tough planetary issues? Let's dig in and find out. Okay, so to really get this, we have to go way back, deep into Hindu lore. This is where we first meet Datura as this kind of shadowy ally to Lord Shiva. See, it's not just some random plant. It's a sacred offering, and it's woven right into tantric traditions. It's all about surrendering to the great unknown. So what is this thing really? Botanically, it's Datura stramonium. Think of a thorny plant that blooms at night. But for our purposes in Jyotish, its real job is something else entirely. It's a hyper-specific, targeted remedy designed to deal with the really tough energies coming from certain planets. And that brings us to its main event, its #1 job. The Dhattura tree is, more than anything else, a tamer. It's this powerful force meant to keep one very specific planet in check. And that planet? It's Saturn, or as we call it in Sanskrit, Shani. Now, to get why you'd even need a tamer for a planet, you have to get Saturn. In Jyotish, Shani is the big boss, the cosmic judge. He's all about karma, discipline, and those really hard life lessons. And let me tell you, when Saturn's influence is strong or just in a tough spot in your birth chart, things can get challenging, to say the least. And this is where it gets cool. You can literally see how it's a perfect matchup. It's like a cosmic lock and key. On one side, you've got Saturn, which can bring delays, bad luck, even illness. And on the other side, you have Datura, whose power is the exact opposite. It brings stability, it channels away those bad vibes, and it builds you up, makes you resilient. It's a straight-up astrological antidote. So, let's get specific. The connections here are super important. Its main gig? Saturn, obviously. And the signs Saturn rules, Capricorn and Aquarius. It's also tied to a powerful star constellation, the Uttara Ashada Nakshatra, which is all about perseverance. And hey, there's a bonus. It also has a secondary influence on Rahu, the moon's north node, helping to cut through illusions. All right, so we've got the what and the why down. Now for the really practical part, the how. How do people actually use the Torah? We're about to get into the nitty-gritty of the remedies and rituals that actually unlock all this power. The absolute key to most of this is the root. It's called the Datura jetty. And get this, it's often shaped like a scorpion. That is not a coincidence. It's all about transformative power. In Jyotish, this root basically becomes a stand-in, a proxy for Saturn itself. It lets you grab hold of that intense energy and redirect it. I mean, some ancient texts even say this little root is more powerful than a super expensive gemstone. Wild, right? So a really common way to use it is to make a talisman. Here's how it works. First, you get the root, and you have to do it on a Saturday, which is Saturn's day. Then you purify it, chant a specific mantra over it, and then you wear it. The whole process turns that root into your own personal tool for dealing with Saturn's tough stuff, whether that's ongoing health issues or blocks in your career. Okay. Big disclaimer here, and this is super, super important. The source material couldn't be clearer. This is not a DIY project you find on the internet. The plant is toxic, period. Any of these remedies absolutely must be done with a ton of care and, this is the crucial part, with an experienced Jyotish expert guiding you. And you know what? That warning is a lesson from Saturn itself. Always act with discipline and care. And it's not just about the talisman for Saturn. There are other cool remedies too. For example, you can do a leaf bath during the new moon to help clear away Rahu's illusions. Or if you've got a lot of Capricorn or Aquarius in your chart, planting a Dhattura sapling is said to help with endurance and longevity. So it's pretty versatile. But look, beyond all the astrology and the rituals, there's a much deeper layer here, and that's the spiritual symbolism of Datura. This is where it stops being just an herb and becomes a teacher, a profound teacher that shows us how to turn poison into nectar. Remember how it's linked to Lord Shiva? Well, that's key. It directly taps into one of Shiva's greatest powers, transmutation. We're talking about the ability to take something totally destructive, something negative, and transform it into something divine, something powerful. This all goes back to the amazing story of Shiva as Nilkamph, which means the blue-throated one. The legend goes that this deadly poison called Hala Hala bubbled up, and it was so potent it was about to destroy the entire universe. So what did Shiva do? He drank it. He just drank the poison to save everyone. It turned his throat blue, but he completely neutralized its power. He was totally unharmed. In Datura, it symbolizes that exact act. The plant's own poison represents the poison of Saturn's challenges, the struggles, the hardships we all face. But if you engage with that energy in the right way, that poison doesn't break you. It forges you. It turns you into enlightened steel. It makes you stronger, tougher, and just more spiritually awake. And the symbolism doesn't stop there. It's everywhere you look with this plant. Its white flowers, that's purity shining through in the dark. The scorpion-shaped root, that's all about rebirth and regeneration. Even the fact that it can grow in total wastelands, that's a classic Saturn lesson right there. How to find strength and thrive even when things seem completely barren. So let's pull all these threads together. You've got the astrology, the rituals, the deep symbolism, and what you end up with is this incredible path that Datura offers. It's a journey, really, a journey from thorns to thrones, from facing a challenge to achieving true mastery over it. And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. The Dhattura Tree isn't some magic wand to make Saturn's lessons disappear. No way. It's about changing your relationship to those lessons. It gives you a tool to rewrite the script, to turn a story that could be about suffering into one about sovereignty, one where you're in charge, mastering the challenges and turning all that hardship into true resilience. So in the end, Datura, with all of its menacing beauty, it's offering more than just a remedy. It's offering a promise. It's a promise that no matter how dark things get, no matter how tough your astrological chart might look, there is always a path to strength, to discipline, and maybe even to greatness.